Hello, friends. Hopefully everything is working. Hopefully the sound balance is good. Let me turn this down just a tiny bit. Here I am, 10 o'clock on the dot, right? Not late at all. Pi here to help me with the coffee. Hello, Pi. Carly here with a pre-stream hydrate. We'll start off with that. Cheers. Carly caught me in the setup process. Heck yeah. Author E.M. Antoir, hello, hello. How's it going? Enjoy your food. I see that you had to go into lurk mode. I hope it's delicious. Ushata Alpaca, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Hello to anyone out there in Lurkland who is not feeling social this morning and just wants to hang with the ducks. Pi, how's it going? We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hydrates. Hell yeah. Getting that caffeination started. We've already got 2 ducks in the tunnel. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. And a 5th. Caffeination. I'm doing pretty good. All things considered, I mentioned this last week, but Ghost Pepper is out of town at the beginning of this week. He is on a field trip with some students in Vancouver, actually. So I am on my own here, and as I have mentioned in the past, I do not always do well when I am left to my own devices and don't have someone to set a schedule, because the only reason I have a schedule is because Ghost Pepper has a schedule. Ghost Pepper has to be awake at a certain time of day, and he has to go to bed at a certain time of night. And if I don't schedule my day so that my off time is at the same time as his off time, we just would not see each other. Ever. In my natural state, I sleep from I want to say 3-ish a.m. till 11. And if I was trying to conduct my workday around that kind of schedule, I would be working straight through all the time when Ghost Pepper's not here. So I'm doing well. I managed to sleep last night, which is a bonus. I don't always when Ghost Pepper's away. But my schedule is trying to drift. I did remember to eat dinner before 8 p.m. last night, which is a major accomplishment. Because usually when Ghost Pepper's not here, hey, Tyranno's duck is here. Usually when Ghost Pepper's not here, I forget to make dinner until after our usual dinner time, so it's a struggle, but I'm doing pretty good. I remembered to eat yesterday. It sounds silly. Oh, thank you. And how are you doing, Carly? I hope you're resting. I hope your foot is doing good. Oh my goodness. Oh, we got 2 Kara Strathmores. That's not good. That's never a good thing. Just hanging out? Glad to hear it. I know it probably gets boring having to rest for recovery, but is important. Body needs it. Sometimes your body just needs to chill and be chill and have chill. So you gotta do what you gotta do. My foot looks like it was beaten for money and thrown in a river. Oh no. I wanted to send you a funny gif of the foot mafia or something on Discord yesterday, but when I did a GIF search, the only GIFs I found were super weird and not even funny. So I was like, maybe this was a bad idea. Cause I wanted to find a cute little gangster foot being give me all your months. But I figured I could have sent a few of those gifts, but they were super weird. There was one that was all of the toes making kissy faces. And I was just like, somebody had to make this. This GIF had to be made by somebody, and I don't know if I want to know what the story behind it is. Sometimes I see GIFs and I'm like, somebody made that. Somebody, for some reason... Oh hey, the ninja duck is hanging out up there on top of the dome. Hadriel, once again, escaping, being stuck in the dome, leaving the stargazer still trapped, but we will try again next time we get a duck in the launcher. Oh, Hadriel doing a run-by visit of Domran. Oh my goodness, there we go. He's finally actually in the pool. There we go. All these cute little duckies. We got a lot of them. We got AB coffee. Do we have coffee? No coffee yet. No fire ducks have initiated coffee yet. Pie duck is over here hanging out. We've got exiled Fae duck, and Carly's duck is around here somewhere. Living her best beanie duck life. Never sure quite where, but we will find her. She will appear. I don't think I've ever seen the beanie duck go into the dome. Got some ducks hanging out up here with our box duck. Let's see. Carly might be up in the pinball area. We have so many ducks this time. It's nice in this map because when you first started out, it gets really empty at first. So this is one of the few, like the other maps get really crowded once you start getting a lot of ducks. But this map is pretty sweet with the, oh, he's trying to be Darfin, but he can't do the helmet. That's so cute. So you get a lot, once you get a lot of ducks on here, it's not as big a deal because there's so many places for them to go. There's Fox Rider hanging out down at the bottom of the pool. I'm trying to get up into the pinball area. Oh no, Crescent's gonna get brainwashed. Maybe we don't have any ducks up. There's Barred Owl. There's Barred Duck. There's Ushat the Alpaca. Hanging out. Somehow got out into space last time. Don't know how that happened, but he back. He back now. There's Uncle Scrooge. Oh, I thought I saw Carly and then... Carly, where'd your duck go? There we go. There's one of the jelly ducks. Oh, jelly duck fell. Trying to zoom out so that we can get a good view. I feel like I found everybody's duck except Carly's ducks. The ducks are chilly at Chaos. Yeah, this map is pretty crazy. I'm glad you're back too, Oshata Alpaca. I don't know what happened. Usually when they go like out into the spaceship, they always come back. Ooh, this song is a bop. Oh, you might be in the launcher, but... Nope, there's no ducks in the launcher. I'm all paranoid now because we did lose a duck to space last time. And I don't know how it happened. Like I've never seen that happen before. There's Dad's duck. Nordic Sparkle. Disco duck. There's one of the fire ducks. There's Ninja. It is also hard to keep track of the ducks at any given time on this map because there are so many places they could go. I know we had Carly's duck last time though, so she gotta be somewhere. I think the tunnel may have opened so that we can go get Calculuster. We just need to wait for a duck to go inside the dome, which I don't see any names in there yet, so I don't think they are. Any of them are in there. But yeah, so that's what's going on with me. Just a little bit of a chaotic start to the week because of Ghost Pepper being out with the children's. This was actually originally, Ghost Pepper wasn't originally going to go on this trip. He ended up going on this trip because it originally had to be canceled. Last summer in our area, there were a bunch of forest fires, which I talked about and wrote about, and we did like a whole series of streams about, but as a result of that, the original version of this field trip had to be canceled because it was supposed to be, I think it was originally going to be like a camping trip or something, but they couldn't do it because smoke and fire and whatnot. So they had to reschedule it for later in the year, and as it gets later and later in the year, it gets harder and harder to book places for large groups. So they ended up doing an art trip to Vancouver, which is pretty cool. And that is where Ghost Pepper is. He is supervising because the teacher that was originally supposed to go in his place is on the grad trip right now with the seniors. So they were like, we need somebody to stand in for this trip. Oh no, look, there is a duck how are these ducks getting out into space? How is this happening? How is this happening? How did the ducks just keep getting yeeted into space? I don't understand. I don't understand. I've never seen that happen before. I was trying to go into, because some of them, they sometimes go into that spaceship. Which I can't even see right now. But they don't usually just get yeeted into space. That's so weird. I wonder if that's like a glitch or a new thing. And it won't let me click. It won't let me click on this thing, so there must not be a duck in it. Weird. So weird. Okay, it does look like we have a duck in the dome. So let's see if we can get into the dome. Just kind of gotta scroll through ducks until we get in there. Come on. Yellow duck. How did he get up there? Poor baby. He's just stuck up there. I feel like we've been streaming for 5 minutes and the ducks have been up to the shit. Come on, put me in the dome. There's a duck in space, Pie. It just flat out went into space. Pie, how are you doing? I appreciate the number of times you messaged me for my birthday. I know you tried to pretend it was the first time every time. But I appreciated that you messaged me. There we go. We're in the dome finally. We just gotta get the angle. And we can release Calculaster. Hell yeah. There he is. Our sweet robot boy. Job done. And stop rapidly scrolling through ducks. Another hydrate for Pie. So yeah, it was my birthday over the weekend as well. For anyone who didn't catch one of the things that I ended up doing for my birthday. On Sunday, we ended up playing Armello with, it was me and Ghost and Collie and Shugraz, who's really good at that game. And I am not, because I've played it maybe like 5 times. So I definitely had to get good really quickly. And Joe came into Collie and Ghost Pepper's chats and started paying them bits to fuck with me in the game. And then acted innocent about it on his stream as if he would never do something like that to me. So that was really fun. The game straight up screwed me. Like, I can't even be mad at my fellow players. I tried to go for the win, and the die landed on the right symbol, but then, like, teleported and was not the right symbol. And everybody saw it. It wasn't just me. Ghost Pepper was, like, laughing his head off. So that happened. And I didn't win the game, but it was fun. It's a really fun game for anyone who doesn't know. Armello, it's kind of like a little board game. It's a video game, but it's kind of like a little board game. The king is corrupted, and every day at the beginning of the day, he loses a health. And so you have only the number of days that he has health in order to end the game. And you get a day turn and a night turn. So I think it's like 14 turns or something like that, or like 13 turns to win the game. And there are several different ways you can win. If nobody defeats the king, then you can win by prestige, by having the most prestige, which is how Ghost Pepper won. If you are able to fight your way into the palace, you can kill the king. Or the ending I was going for, which I did not succeed, is that you can get 4 of the spirit stones and become a spirit walker, and then you can go into the castle and cleanse the king of his corruption. I did have the spirit stones. I did become the spirit walker, but I could not get into the castle. So Game Boolin, the V-Day girl, listen. There was a lot of betrayal happening for a birthday stream. Although I kind of betrayed Ghost on his birthday stream, so it was a little bit fair game. Yes, we did that. Ghost Pepper took me to a lovely brunch on Saturday morning, because I love brunch. And then we went to dinner on Sunday, and I ate so much food. Like, just all the food. I've been trying to make more healthy eating choices lately, because I like food, and Sometimes I don't make healthy eating choices and I sit a lot because my job is at my desk. So sometimes I don't have the healthiest lifestyle, so I'm trying to make some changes, but it was my birthday, so I was like, screw it, we're gonna have a 3-course meal. We had an appetizer, we had dinner, we had dessert. It was amazing. I had a saffron cream prawn pasta, which was top notch. Saffron, very delicious, very expensive. So we had that, and then I had creme brulee and chocolate mousse for my birthday, because even though I'm lactose intolerant, you gotta splurge sometimes, and birthday's when you do it. So it was good. It was very good. And now I'm supposed to be writing today. So today we are working on the prompt novel, which I think is what we worked on the last stream that we actually had last Thursday. And there's an added challenge to this one because the prompt is, the prompt says using only dialogue, describe a character's first date. So that is what we're doing for today. Using only dialogue, show 2 characters having their first date. So I am gonna make a minor tweak to this. I think it's a good challenge to write a scene that is essentially just dialogue. I am going to allow myself to use dialogue tags. If you have a long, unbroken chain of dialogue without any dialogue tags, that can become very taxing to read. Because you have to keep track of which character is speaking, and even in a straight back and forth, it's like an extra thing for your brain to keep track of. Like if you've ever read a book that had a long string of dialogue that didn't use any dialogue tags or didn't use enough dialogue tags, it can actually be very taxing to your brain, and if you lose track of who's speaking, you get confused, you have to go back, and if there's no dialogue tags throughout the whole scene, you'd have to go all the way back to the beginning to try and figure out who was talking. So I do feel like dialogue tags are a valid part of writing viable dialogue. I want this to be readable. I'm not going to... I would not feel like it was an appropriate writing exercise to write something that was essentially unreadable just because that was, like, to the letter of the prompt. I feel like the idea is to write something readable. So in order to do that, I am going to use dialogue tags, and I will allow myself to use some descriptive text if I can fit it in as a dialogue tag. I'm not going to... I could get really cheap about it and just do like run-on sentences and just tack a bunch of stuff into the dialogue tags. I'm not going to do that. I'm not trying to cheat here. I just think that in order to have something that is comfortable and reasonable to expect people to read, it has to have organization. And that's essentially what dialogue tags do, is they allow you to know who is speaking and also what tone they're speaking in, and possibly a little bit what they're doing at the same time. But I just feel like if you don't use any dialogue tags and you have a scene that is nothing but dialogue, that's just a recipe for disaster right there. But in the spirit of the prompt, it's going to be just dialogue, just the talky talk. It's gonna be hard because I think I naturally, when I was a young writer, just, you know, fresh into attempting to tell stories, I did not do descriptions very well. And I still sometimes have to go back into my early drafts and add description in because I forget to say what a character looks like or to describe like the room that they've walked into or whatever. And I try not to overcompensate for that by doing like, here's a head to toe description of everything or a wall to like a floor to ceiling description of everything. But I do try to balance that. Oh wow. This is straight up one-winged angel. That's very distracting. I love that song, but it's very distracting. I have sort of trained myself to try to be aware of dialogue more, or not dialogue, description more often when I'm writing. And so I'm essentially gonna break that training with this scene. And I think it's gonna be challenging because when I get into a natural flow, I don't always think that strongly about what I'm writing. Hey, Angel Faye, how's it going? I just kind of write. And so I'm going to have to break flow a little bit during this process because otherwise I'm going to forget to only write dialogue. But I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a fun challenge. I expect that because it's an only dialogue scene, it's going to be shorter. I think most of the scenes for this prompt novel have been between 3,000 and 4,000 words. I can't see myself writing 3,000 or 4,000 words of just dialogue, but we'll see. Novel, chapter 9. I mean, I guess never say never, but I would expect it to be a shorter scene if it doesn't have all of the descriptive things going on. Exiled Faye, hello, hello. Worked in my newsletter. Nice. I struggle with my newsletter pretty consistently. I did send one out like the day before my birthday, the Friday before my birthday. I usually send them out pretty much the last like Friday of the month. But I never know what to say, and I never know if what I've said is interesting or just horribly boring. But yeah. So good luck with that, Angel Faye. One Vamp, hello, how's it going? So yeah, we're gonna do the usual. I'm probably gonna pop AFK here in just a few minutes too, because again, I got distracted. Surprise, surprise. Shocking. I know, me getting distracted for the first half hour stream. Probably just gonna pop AFK in a minute here to do some quick steps and refresh my coffee, and then we'll do 30-minute sprints. I suspect I'm gonna need at least 2, but again, I feel like this scene is gonna have to be shorter. I'm gonna worry about myself if I write 3,000 words of just dialogue, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hey, you never know, Angel Faye. Angel Faye, you never know. I used to do a lot of, it wasn't Book Funnel, but it was similar to Book Funnel. I used to do a lot of like newsletter exchanges where you would sign up a book on a site, and then I know, but angel was the word that my brain didn't say right. I'll try. I used to do a lot of like exchanges where you would sign up your book. So like if you're running a free promo, you would sign up your book and then everyone would send it out to their newsletters and you would get subscriptions from everyone who downloaded your book, and that was how I did a lot of my newsletter building. I'm kind of in a pruning phase right now, because a lot of people will sign up for your newsletter and not really be interested in it, so I'm kind of letting it prune down at the moment, to the people who are not necessarily going to unsub, and then I'll try building it back up again. There's a whole science behind newsletter building, and I feel like I'm super bad at it. Figured out that my prologue might not serve its purpose, so I'm considering writing a completely new one. Hey, I feel you. The opening of the book always gets way more attention than the rest of the book. You write it so many times, and then you're still not happy with it. I use the newsletter plugin for WordPress because it's free. Exiled Faye, hello, how's it going? So I have a WordPress site. I have my own web domain with WordPress installed. And I have the newsletter plugin. I keep thinking I need to pay to upgrade it because there are some features that I don't have. But it's really easy. It integrates with my website, and I just use my website interface to manage my newsletter and send all my newsletters from there. It's probably not the best newsletter management system. There are a lot of options out there, but usually after a certain number of subscribes, you have to start paying for it. So I went the free option because I'm already paying for web hosting and, like my domains and stuff. So I figure I may as well use that. That reminds me that I have to go update one of my domains at some point. I was having problems with the service anyway, so I might go with someone else. Oh, I had a website, but I let it lapse. Yeah, I have had a website pretty consistently since I started publishing. I'm with DreamHost. They're not always the best, but so far I've been able to get what I need from DreamHost. Using the WordPress newsletter plugin is not like one of the recommended things, but it's what works for me. Hostinger, is that for newsletter or for your website, Angel? Can never get the security certificate stuff. Mine never fully works properly either, I don't think. Webhost, interesting. I'm so out of the loop now on, because I've been with DreamHost for so long that I don't even know. Like, my bad habit when it comes to marketing is I do a thing and then I just stick with it forever, and that is not what you're supposed to do. MailLite I have heard of. Yeah. I don't know a lot about it, but I have heard of MailLite. So, but yeah, I use the WordPress plugin. I send a newsletter once a month. And I try to do free promos and stuff in there a lot. Previews of my books, that kind of stuff. But I never know if I've said anything, because I'm like, hey, here's what's going on in the world of me this month. And I feel like an inherently boring individual. So I'm like, I don't know how much anybody cares about anything I just said. But people stay subscribed, so, you know, I must do something with it correctly to some degree. Oh no, Joe is getting brainwashed. So yeah, we still haven't found Carly's duck? Where did Carly's duck go? Oh, we freed the Stargazer. The Stargazer is free. Heck yeah. So yeah, if anyone has questions about that kind of stuff, like, I can try to answer it, but I have to disclaimer and say I feel like I'm a bad person to ask because I have a newsletter and I send my newsletter, but I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. Like, I've read a lot of suggestions about how to manage newsletters and how to get organic growth, and I don't think I do it well. But I can answer questions to the best of my ability. First, though, I am going to take a quick... I'm just going to pop into AFK mode here. I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break. Going to get my steps in for the hour. And then when I come back, we're going to do 30 minutes. I'm going to try to wrap my head around... I'm, like, both excited and dreading this prompt exercise because it is going to be a challenge, and I do like a challenge. But part of me is like, what if, like, 3 sentences in, I'm just like, I can't do this. So we'll see. We'll do our first 30 minutes and see if I can actually do this. back. Mad Lad, hello, hello. I'll get you a heart in a minute. Hello. You are a VIP, Mad Lad. You've been hanging out here so often for so long. And I appreciate that, and you. So I'm going to reply to Exiled Fate in the chat in a minute, but I have had it be hit and miss with DreamHost with like the free security certificate stuff. And Carly probably remembers this because I messaged her like frantically about a month or so ago, but I was having a problem with my pen name domain where like I couldn't get into it. And everyone I messaged and I was like, hey, can you get into this website? They were like, yeah, it loads for me just fine. And I was like, what the hell? So I finally went on DreamHost support and I was like, is this a you problem or a me problem? And they were like, oh no, this is an us problem. I was like, thank goodness, because I had just had to reinstall my entire hard drive. And I was like, the last thing I want right now is another tech issue that I have to fix. But one thing I will say about DreamHost is that they seem to have pretty decent support. Every time I've contacted them, they're pretty direct, they're pretty fast. They'll just get it done and then send you a message and be like, it works again. And I'm like, okay. Need my yogurt and tea? Heck yeah, Angel. Enjoy. What kind of tea? Tell us when you get back. We got a hydrate for the Mad Lad. Freshly hot coffee. It was so funny, though, when literally everyone who wasn't me could get into my website. And I was like, I actually need to get into my website so I can send a newsletter. And denied. And I thought it was because I had accidentally, like, installed some kind of security update to my virus scanner when I reset my hard drive, when I reinstalled on the new hard drive. And they were like, no, we installed something wrong. And I was like, thank goodness. I wouldn't classify myself as VIP, but I try my best to make it to every stream. I mean, Mad Lad, you're almost always here, which I appreciate. You chat often. You encourage others. I also tend to forget that I have VIP badges to give out. So every now and then I try to remember to go into the back end and hand out a smattering of the VIP badges. And I just so happened to remember to do that this morning. So there you are. Oh no, the box duck fell in the water. Oh no, soggy box. Oh no, is he stuck? Oh, poor sweet duck. Stuck in the tunnel on an invisible wall. My goodness. Poor yellow duck. Can the other ducks get past him? I guess we'll find out. Huh? Okay. She just noped in the other direction. My goodness. My goodness. I did not give it to you because you like the clown duck. I gave it to you despite you liking the clown duck. Funny story, in the Discord, when everyone was wishing me happy birthday, my husband posted this, epic, happy birthday music video, which I guess he uses for his students, like, because they do one for, like, each different name, so he uses them for his students. And literally in the first 30 seconds of the video, a giant clown face pops up on the screen, and I walked downstairs, and I was like, you clowned me on my birthday. You, my husband, clowned me on my birthday. Thank you! It is not a big deal. It did happen on the weekend, so I wasn't exactly streaming. But I appreciate that. It was a good birthday. But now we have to see if I can write a scene using only dialogue. Dialogue only. Oh boy, I'm nervous. I'm very, very nervous. As evidenced by the fact that I keep stalling. Okay. Alright. Thingies maybe ready. Possibly ready. The pink-purple color of the VIP badge does complement the green of my name. So I micro-attached. I mean, you have it forever now, the Mad. This doesn't go away. I don't rotate them every stream. That reminds me of, partially because we went to see Furiosa for my birthday on Friday. That reminds me of the speech that Immortan Joe does at the beginning of Fury Road, where he's like, don't become addicted to water because you may find yourself hating its absence or whatever. Welcome back, Angel Faye. What kind of tea are you having? I mean, the irony of the speech is that you need water to survive. Alright. I'm turning on the timer now for realsies. I'm gonna do this. I can do this, right? I just have to be open to it being super bad. Oh, fuck. I forgot this guy's name. I didn't forget his name, just how to spell it. Yeah, but what flavor tea, Angel Faye? What flavor? Is it like tea Earl Grey hot? Chamomile, very good choice for before bed. Or, as Salas calls it, camel-miled, because he doesn't speak English very well. Started reading Black Licorice the same day too, and I need to finish it. I did notice a lot of color imagery. I am going to decipher your hidden message. You tell me what it is. When you find the hidden message, you tell me what it is. Because if I'm embedding secret messages in there, I would like to know what they are. Mmm. Strawberry flavored yogurt was my favorite type of yogurt before I stopped having to eat yogurt because I'm lactose intolerant. Lots of poets and authors unintentionally hide messages in their work. I mean, I'm sure but if it's unintentional, I don't necessarily know that I'm doing it. Sometimes I hide messages in there on purpose, but, I recognize this song. I just keep thinking of all the details that I can't stick in here because it's only dialogue. You want to develop your critical analysis skills on my work? Dang, the mad lad. You gotta write a book about me. And all my weird quirks. A semantic field of religion. Interesting. I don't think you're crazy. I think you'd know if I thought you were crazy. I'm just really focused right now. I'm focusing really hard on writing. This is not... If I were to, like, look at this from, like, a standpoint of, like, novel writing and trying to write something good, I would not strictly say that this scene is good, but it's passable? I think I'm not cheating too hardcore. I mean, I gotta have dialogue. Gotta have some description in here. It just... This feels like a very juvenile scene, but I'm trying hard. Interesting, because to me, White Knuckles doesn't scream religion, it screams tension and anxiety. Barely repressed rage. Although it's funny that you say that white is a symbolic color of purity, because I very specifically try to avoid, because I've read about this, about white being, I'm totally talking through the sprint now, about white being an expression of purity and darker colors like black being expressions of impurity. I very specifically avoid that because I feel like that is embedded in our society and it's bad. So I very specifically, when I'm talking about something evil or eerie, I use different colors. Like I often reach for green or purple. to evoke like a sense of eerie or creepy atmosphere rather than black, because I very specifically avoid that taboo. I've already given you too much, the mad lad. I have to make you do some of the work for yourself. I'm teasing. I don't necessarily have, to be honest with you, when I evoke the image of white knuckles, to me, it does mean tension and anger and the containment of emotions. That's what I tend to associate with those words. I mean, you can literally squeeze something so hard that your knuckles turn white. That's why that expression exists. I'm not saying nothing. I'm gonna let you read more and draw a conclusion for yourself. Okay. Alright, so that was 1,018 words. I have cheated a little. I feel like I have cheated the prompt just a little bit. But everything is dialogue and dialogue tags. I have left out information that I would normally convey via narrative, observation, and internal monologue, but I have tried to include enough detail in the dialogue tags to paint a picture of a scene. It probably feels a little bit awkward in frame because everything is dialogue tags, and I would not normally write this scene this way. But I am doing it because it is the spirit of the prompts. It was the challenge that I accepted. I think it's going pretty well. I might be able to finish it in one more sprint. I have an end goal in mind because I know kind of what the plot, like which prompts are leading into which prompts from this part of the story. So I kind of have an end goal in mind. It's just trying to get there solely through dialogue is proving to be a very interesting challenge. But I'm decently happy with this first 1,000 words. And hopefully in 1,000 more we'll be much closer to the end. Ira is the type of person who lets their knuckles go white, and you can develop that and really search the deeper meaning. Perhaps I'm wrong, maybe there's nothing there, but if I can back it up with evidence, only the author can say that I'm wrong. I genuinely believe that once you put something out into the world, you can't control what other people do with it, and most interpretations of a story are valid. If you start coming up with, like, really, like, racist garbage interpretations of my work, then I'd probably be like, I definitely didn't write that. But I doubt that would happen because I definitely didn't write that. So I'm perfectly cool to see like what other people's theories and interpretations of my stuff is. I've had some really interesting conversations with people about what they like find in my work when they get out of it. Red coat, blue car, two colors commonly associated with being polar opposites. I believe they are opposite on the color wheel as well. Red being a sign associated with beauty and rage, and blue being a color of sadness and seclusion. Interesting. So did you only read the first scene so far, Mad Lad? I'm gonna be honest, I chose those colors at random, but blue is my favorite color, so not shocked. Not shocked. Lyle reached the office. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, okay. I see, I see. So yes. Let's see what the Ducks is doing. First of all, I don't think I have saved the Ducks in a while. So you're gonna save. Let's see. Our piggy bank duck still has their coin. We need to go to the launcher. Release the duck. Okay, we should check on the tunnel because our poor little box duck is just stuck over here. Calculester's hanging out though. Boop. This poor duck, this poor yellow duck in his box is just stuck there. The red lights flashing at him was some nice dramatic irony. Obviously, we know it's a sign of the red car he's damaged. Whereas to Lyle, he just forgot to scan his card. Interesting. That is not an interpretation that would have occurred to me. Red mean bad. Green mean good. In our society. Why do you think that we as a society have developed this idea that red is the color of caution and danger? What is it about the color red that to us, we interpret it as a negative color, or as a color that warns off, versus green being a reassuring color and a color of continuation and a color of... Is it because grass is green and fire is red? I would be very curious to actually read a like psychological interpretation of why as a society we make certain colors mean certain things. Angel Faye, thank you so much for hanging out. Have a good sleep. Take care of yourself. Are we saying we haven't yet associated red with demons? Do you think that's why? Why do we associate demons with red? Why do we associate the color red with hell? How did the color red become that color? And how did the color green become its opposite? Like, if you go anywhere in the world, the stop signs are red. The red lights are red. Like, the stoplights are red and green. Why did we do it that way? Why did red develop into... Genuine question, I don't know this. I would be interested in doing research into that. I'm assuming it has something to do with the way we perceive light on the UV spectrum. And that if we saw light slightly differently, we might associate different colors. But it has to be partially societal as well. Maybe because red is the color of blood. And it freaks us out. Whereas green is like the color of crop growth and plenty. I would be very curious. I'm going to Google it right now. Why do we use red for stop signs? See, traditionally red has evoked danger and green a more calming influence. It was optical science. Red has the longest wavelength in the visible spectrum and is less likely to be interfered with by other light sources due to light scattering. Why traffic signals are red, yellow, and green? This is what I want to know. In the 1840s, the British railroads adopted a flag, lamp, and semaphore signal system where red meant danger, white meant safety, and green indicated proceed with caution. They took their inspiration from early industrialization, where factory machines used red to indicate the equipment was off and green when it was turned on. But one time, the red glass lens on a signal lamp dropped out of its socket, showing a white light, which then caused a rail collision. Interesting. By the 1860s, traffic conditions in London prompted officials to seek a way of controlling horse-drawn carriages with a signal system and opted for the railroad scheme of color-coded semaphores and lights controlled by policemen. But why did we associate red? This article seems to be saying that it's specifically because of the light spectrum. That didn't tell me nothing. Nothing. I would say the same as you. Fire is red and associated with pain and suffering. Yeah, there has to be some reason why we settled on... I mean, granted, modern day science might be like, yeah, red is the longest wavelength, and that's why, like, we were drawn to that color. But there has to be something societal about it as well. Okay, so where did the association come from? This article says that it was hard to find the information. Red draws the eye, so it's often used as a signal to gain attention. But this is talking about like the 1800s. Like, red was associated with, like, danger way before the 1800s. So the modern answer is because we can see red from the farthest away. The modern answer of why we use red as, like, a stoplight or a caution light is because it travels the farthest distance. So that's the modern answer. Why is red the color of danger? What weird rabbit holes we've gone down today. Primate color vision evolved from dichromatic to trichromatic for finding food in the forest, and subsequently this ability to detect red was adapted for attracting mates by noticing the appearance of red colorations. Interesting. It sounds like the modern scientific answer is specifically because of the way red light works on the spectrum. But what's the societal reason? How did we internalize that in society? Because it's a somewhat universal thing as well. Like, this is saying that across all cultures, people associate red with anger, with passion. It's like, red is a power color. Like, they've done numerous studies on this. Like, the reason why I picked a red car even though it was somewhat random, the reason why I picked a red car for the scene is because red is a power color. It's seen as a color of authority and confidence. It's a color that's associated with, like, CEOs and, like, high energy. And that's a universal, like, psychological concept. But how did it get that way? I'm suddenly very curious. And it's interesting because I'm not delving too deep into this topic, but at a glance, the reason seems to be just 'cause. It just 'cause. It definitely, like, the modern scientific answer is definitely that red stands out to us because it has the longest wavelength. We can see it from the farthest away. It strikes our eye in a certain way, and that apparently has caused us to have all of these internal associations with it. But it's fascinating to me how, like it's proof that like when you go to school when you're young, you study all these separate subjects, right? You study history and you study science and you study English and you study mathematics, and they're completely separate subjects. They're treated as completely different, unrelated. But knowledge is actually interconnected. Biology informs, psychology, informs history, informs culture, and all of those things shape how we interact with the world. So, like, it's fascinating to me the idea that the reason why we have all of these, psychological associations with red is because of the way it strikes our eye, because of the science behind how light works. Obviously, people didn't know that when they decided to start making those associations, throughout history. But it's interesting that we can look back at it with modern science and say the reason why red has always, made us think of certain things is because it hits our eye differently than green or blue. Did anyone else associate their subjects with color? Like, universally, we associate English with that. I actually didn't know that we associate English with yellow. Yeah, it's... And, this might seem, like, totally irrelevant to what we're doing, but this is one of the things that I think, oh my god, that duck just got yeeted across the map. That duck just went flying. I don't know where from. I don't know how he got into the air, but that was... that duck got some air. I have never heard of any subjects being associated with any specific colors. Like, in school, I've never heard that. As a writer, understanding things like that, understanding the psychology behind symbolism is a way to, if you are building your own world and if you are starting from scratch, understanding how, biology and geography inform history, inform, the building blocks of a society. Understanding the psychology behind symbolism helps you to build realistic, fake universes, essentially. If we understand why we think of things in a certain way, or why we build cities in a certain place, or, what we are... drawn to as, like, our basic needs being fulfilled, then it allows you to create those realistic foundations. So I believe that as a writer, you can never know too much about any one subject, and you should know at least a little bit about every subject. I've never heard of this, so I don't know, is this like just colors of books, or is this like, we never had an association with colors and subjects in school. Joe, how's it going? How's your leg feeling? Wide knowledge is important to being a well-rounded person as well, but if you're gonna be a writer, you gotta understand shit on another level, I think. And the more you read and the more you write, the more you gain that knowledge either way. Hydrate for Joe. I'm about to pop AFK quick for a quick bathroom break, which means I should actually pause the ducks. But I will be back. We will be doing another round of 30-minute clicky clacks. I gotta try and get this dialogue to the end of the scene, to the end point. I have never associated my subjects with colors. I'll be honest. I guess I would consider math to be blue, but I've never really thought about it before. Joe, let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how your leg is doing. I will be right back in a few minutes. I'm back! Joe Eepy just woke up. I'm surprised you're actually awake this early, Joe. I didn't think you'd be awake for another couple hours. You streamed pretty late last night. Because I know I popped AFK at around 11:45, and I popped back around 12:30, and you had raided. And that's like 3:30 in the morning for you. Exile Faye, how's it going if you are now unmuted? Everyone I knew had the same color associations or different color associations. I don't remember our school subjects ever being associated with specific colors. Now, that doesn't mean they weren't. It just means I don't remember. I did think of some things for this scene while I was AFK, so I think I know how to get where I'm going, which is good. Or it would be easier if I could use not dialogue, but we're gonna get there. It's gonna happen, I have faith. Now I want to look at... This one? Dang. My tarot cards did really give me some banging stuff to work with for this. Alright. That's good. That's good. Gotta get back to your reading. Enjoy the Mad Lad. We are gonna do another 30 minutes of clicky clacky goodness because I've got plans for this scene. I know I mentioned this at the end of the last sprint, but I am really struggling with not being able to include description and like internal monologue. Like there's so much information that I feel like is just not getting conveyed. You want chaos, Joe? You got it. Here it is. Me in my octopus hat as interpreted by Joseph Chilson, the great artist, Joseph Chilson. Composed over a period of at least 5 minutes on one of his streams. Quite excellent, in my opinion. Modern day Picasso. Top tier, top notch. What more could we ask for? So yeah, I do feel like there's a bunch of information that's not getting conveyed, and I'm trying to find the best way to convey character information via word choices and the little bit of tone that I'm able to get into my dialogue tags. So this is a challenging write for sure. Aw, Joe, that's such a cute emote. I love that the octopus eyes have more detail than the human eyes. Funny story, Joe didn't remember that the hat had eyes. So me and Bardowl were like, what about the eyes? And he's like, Megan's eyes are right here. And we were like, no, the hat has eyes. And he was like, oh, the hat has eyes? So if you notice, I think you can see that the tentacles are actually go into the octopus eye. Like the octopus eyes are just kind of drawn on top at the end. Which is really what makes it a masterpiece, I feel. Joe's artwork is always interesting. Like you never quite know what you're gonna get. Yeah, you never quite know what you're gonna get, and it's always interesting in the end. So I personally love it. It was whenever I redeem an art card on Joe's stream, I know that what I'm actually getting is an experience, and I appreciate those experiences. Like when I asked Joe to draw the Northern Lights for Bart, that was top tier classic. So, always a fun time. I personally appreciate the chaos that you get on Joe's streams. It's one of the reasons why I go. Also because Joe is awesome and amazing, and I love hanging out with him. But the chaos is also up there. Very wholesome. Extremely wholesome. No, you, Joseph Chilson. Uno reverse. I know that meme. Hello, fellow teenagers. I know that meme. Alright. That's what you get, Joe. Bask in my love. Alright, let's do 30 minutes. Let's see. Can I even remember? Yes, okay. I was like, I came up with what I wanted the next line to be, and then I promptly forgot it. I find that song distracting, so we're gonna skip it. See, there's so many things that I want to say right now, but I can't figure out how to make any of them a dialogue tag. Have you ever eaten star anise, mad lad? I actually don't mind star anise sometimes in food, but I don't like black licorice. I find it icky. I think they call it something different on your side of the pond. Or maybe I'm thinking of something different. Maybe it's anise that you call something different. Oh, aniseed. Excuse me. That's what they call it on Sorted. Is aniseed. Same thing. Don't like this song either. Bye. Just smacked my mouse halfway across my desk. I believe it is time to end the Chaos Cam and return. Okay, I'm so close to the end of this scene. I have a place where I want it to go, and I just have to get there from this one last thing. A vague idea of how I want to do this, but I have to execute it well. This scene is probably not my best written scene, but I do think it's going okay. I just have to stick the landing here. We're at 2,118 words, which is significantly shorter than other scenes in this novel have been, but as I said at the beginning, the fact that it's all dialogue. We've cut out all of the usual in-between stuff. There's no thoughts, there's no description, there's just purely what I can sort of slip into the dialogue tags, because you need at least a little bit of description for something to be readable. So it's right around the length that I suspected. I think I have just a couple hundred more words. I want to try and draw a connection between two things and then have that lead to my ending, but executions can be hard for sure. I don't want it to feel like I'm slapping an interpretation in there just to make this ending work. I want it to actually work. Shakespeare did a lot with I mean, that's true. I mean, I guess plays do tend to be mostly dialogue. So I don't know if we'll do another sprint. I might just do what I did last time and try to finish it off here. I was very nervous about writing this scene. I do think it has gone better than I initially anticipated. I just don't want to mess it up in the final stretch. So... can I do it? Can I do it? I mean, I'm gonna do something, I guess. So I guess I can do it. It's just a matter of whether or not it'll be good. I might pop AFK just quickly. I don't think I'm gonna take a full break. I think I'm just gonna leave you guys with the ducks while I pop out quickly and just give my coffee one last refresh. And hopefully, the real reason I'm getting up and walking away from my computer is that usually if I get up and move around for a minute away from my computer, what I'm looking for usually shakes free of my brain. So, let me see if that happens this time. I'll be right back. I'm leaving you guys with the ducks. Okay, I think I've done it. I think I've planned out the last few backs and forths in this scene. I'm holding some high concept information in my brain right now. It's one of these things where my characters are being a little bit smarter than me, and so I am doing brain backflips. I'm trying to hold too much information in my brain at one time. Have a headache, so I'm gonna close my eyes for a bit if I can. Exiled Faye, I hope you're able to get some rest. Headaches suck. I am a human barometer, so I 100% understand if it is rainy in any capacity, I start to get massive headaches. So I hope you're able to get some rest. I hope you feel better so that you can enjoy your evening after work. Thank you so much for hanging out. It is appreciated. And we'll see you around. I will, of course, be here tomorrow and Thursday, so there's plenty of time to hang out. Sorry, guys, I'm thinking really super hard here. I'm almost done with this scene, but I have to really feel my way through these last bits. Okay, I think I'm past the difficult part. I think I can just write the last couple sentences now. Oh, I really stretched my brain. I really stretched my brain to make this scene work, you guys. Okay. I think I mostly obeyed the rules of the prompts. That was tough. That was a challenge. I had to... Because there were some... Writing this scene, like, has already taught me a lot. Because there were some things that you do when you're writing narrative that advance the story via internal thought or via action. You know, external action. And so there are things that move a scene along that don't involve dialogue. And none of those were available to me here. I basically had to find a way to advance everything that's happening in this scene via conversation, which turned out to be very tricky, especially because I needed to attach concepts to other concepts, right? So I start with two characters who are having dinner for the first time. I want this scene to end with the two of them essentially going back to one character's place to continue hanging out. And I need to get almost total strangers to a point where they are willing to spend more time with each other entirely via dialogue. And that turned out to be a lot more challenging than I thought it would. Especially because I basically had to find concepts to link to other concepts that would pull through. And it ended up being extremely intellectual because these are two extremely intellectual people. And I definitely had to delve deep into some of my own thoughts and feelings about science and magic and how the world works. And dang, it was wow. There was a moment there where I was like, am I actually just writing gibberish right now? Have I actually just written a bunch of nonsense? And I had to, normally oh no, dragon! Dragon is stuck in the dome. Normally I don't go back and edit, but I definitely had to go back and tweak some of this dialogue and tweak some of the concepts that I was going for because I was like, I don't even necessarily know for sure what I have written otherwise. So, oh hey, Asma got unstuck from that ledge somehow. So yeah, that was an interesting experience. I have one other prompt that is another using only dialogue. And I feel like I hopefully am going to go into that one better prepared. I'm not going to use it next week, obviously. Actually, next week I don't think we're going to do a prompt because next week we're going to do some book formatting on stream. But I think the next prompt that I'm planning to use, unless something pops into my brain between now and then, I think the next prompt is going to be the lives of two people are changed forever when they meet and engage in a weekend-long love affair. So this scene was kind of the setup for that scene. So I think that's going to be the next one. So I think it went pretty well. Certainly not the best scene I've ever written because when you cheers, hydrate, the mad lad. When you write a scene, you generally want to switch up the framework of sentences you're using. So you don't want all of your sentences to use the same structure. You want to use different types of phrasing in different order to have a varied structure of the narrative because it feels more natural to the brain. It flows better. No, Pi did come in earlier with, I think 5 or 6 hydrates. So we have not had a hydrate-free stream. Pi is always ready to get coffee down my throat. For sure. So yeah, the main issue with this scene is that 98% of the sentences use the same structure because it's all dialogue tag with some description thrown in. And so to a certain extent, there's going to be an underlying repetitive nature to this scene that I can't really change. because everything is dialogue. And I definitely feel like I squeezed probably more narrative into the scene than I should have for something that was dialogue only, but I also feel like I worked within the confines of, because I did say at the beginning, I'm gonna let myself use dialogue tags because otherwise this is gonna be totally miserable. So I feel like I did, for the majority of the scene, write to the spirit of the prompts, which means that the pitfall is there's a lot of similar sentence structure. But I did learn a lot from this exercise. Right off the bat, I can say that it was a lot more challenging to move the story without any narrative or internal monologue or description. Like, there were definitely times where I was sitting here like, this would be really easy if I could just throw his thoughts into this scene and move it on to the next thing. But I couldn't do that because it wasn't dialogue, and it would have, fitting it into dialogue would have made it really awkward. So I definitely learned a lot about the tools that we use to advance a scene or advance a narrative just by removing some of my own tools. Does internal thought not count as dialogue? I did not count it as dialogue. There's no internal monologue in this scene. There's no thoughts because I interpreted dialogue as spoken dialogue. So to me, that in the spirit of, because I thought about that. I thought about, you know, internal thoughts being a form of dialogue. And I thought about trying to fit that in there. But I did not use it. I did not utilize that. It is something that I do utilize, usually, in my scenes, sparingly. I try not to have the whole scene be internal monologue. That's something that I've also learned. I've dialed back my internal monologuing over the years. Some of my characters have a very rich internal monologue environment. But I did not count it as dialogue. So it's just spoken dialogue for this scene. And I did find it very challenging to limit my tools. Hey, it was an exercise, right? When I started this project, it was an exercise. It was a challenge for me. I found this to be very challenging and very rewarding, because I genuinely, I didn't really think about this when I chose the prompts. And I didn't really think about this, prior to this morning, but when I turned on stream and actually sat down to write this prompt, I got very nervous because I realized this might not go well. This could be very challenging and very difficult, because I started to think about how I usually write and how my characters usually express themselves, and how much of that was going to be unavailable. And how much I didn't really realize that I rely on that until I didn't have it anymore. But, you know, I don't think I would ever do something like this in a novel, write an entire scene relying so heavily on dialogue. But I do think I learned something from this. I do think I learned how to advance a scene using dialogue and spoken concept versus, you know, using some of the other tools I would normally use. And I do feel like I still got some interesting character moments in there, some interesting set dressing in there. Without using my usual descriptive techniques. So it was fun. It was tough, but it was fun. I think this was a good... I don't know how exciting it was for you guys. This might not have been, because there were definitely times when I was completely absorbed in what I was doing. So I don't know how exciting this was for you guys, but I found it to be a very informative learning experience. It's funny how sometimes you do something and you learn from it instantly. Like, that was, I don't even have to reflect on that. I mean, I will at some point, but I don't even have to reflect on that to see, like, that I learned something from doing this. If someone buys a copy of every single one of your books, it wasn't me. Hey, if you are that into my stuff, first of all, thank you. I appreciate you buying any of my books and being interested in any of my books. I will say, since the Mad Lad, you have decided to critically analyze my books, someday It's kind of very sketchily in the works now, so you might not find a lot of it in there right now. But someday, when I have written more of the stories in my head, all of my novels fit together in one giant multiverse. They are all interconnected, even when they don't seem to be. I know how they connect. There's Easter eggs in there. There's clues. There's seeds. It's all one big giant story. I didn't plan it that way. I didn't plan it that way originally when I first started writing it. It all just kind of happened. But it's in there. Even my first novels, even the Island of Lost Forevers, connects to everything. So, if you're looking forward to spending the next couple decades analyzing my work, there'll be stuff to find, I promise. I had fun talking about color too. It's one of those things where as a writer you become fascinated by why we think about things the way we think about things. And where that information comes from, because that helps you build a more reliable, more realistic narrative or story or world. And it's so interesting because I like to do things like look up my horoscope for my characters, or look up I was playing a game on Saturday that mentioned the Greek types of love, the Greek love aspects. And so I looked that up and instantly I was like, okay, this character has this one, that character has that one. And it's just because all of these things that we've created to help explain our own personalities and our own way of interacting with the world, it helps you make a more realistic person. I have not done this for every character, but I have done the Myers-Briggs for Domarin, and it's scary fucking accurate. I think I have it written down. We're gonna end stream here in a minute, but I think I have it written down. Domarin is ISTP, introverted sensing, thinking, perceiving, which I think, hang on. They are known as the virtuoso ISTP. Explore the world through their senses with steady rationalism and spirited curiosity. They are makers and tinkerers, building useful things and learning from the environment. It's so scarily accurate. Careers, jobs that focus on crisis response, such as firefighters, paramedics, detectives, pilots, and police officers. He works for the magical FBI. Bold and practical experimenters, masters of all kinds of tools. People with this personality type are natural makers, moving from project to project, building the useful and superfluous for the fun of it, and learning from their environment as they go. And the deeper because I've looked pretty deep into this, it's and also the weaknesses: stubborn, insensitive, private, reserved, easily bored, and risky behavior. 100% Domarin. I've looked into this deeper, and ISTPs tend to make good commanders and stuff as well. It's I just went through and answered all the Myers-Briggs questions the way I thought Domarin would answer them, and this is what I got. And Domarin doesn't believe in anything that he can't see, touch, taste, smell. If it's not one of the 5 senses that he experiences directly, he don't believe in it. Souls don't exist because he can't see, taste, touch, smell, or hear them. I haven't done that for all of my characters. I think I also have Rose's MBTI type as well, somewhere. I don't know if I wrote it down. But she's the pacifier one, which is I think mine as well. The person who is They like to establish peace and maintain peace and all that kind of stuff. The healer personality, essentially. Things like that can make really useful tools for seeing if you have or if you have created a character that is like, that feels like a realistic person. And it blows my mind a little bit that Domerans is so accurate. He's also an Aries, which is shockingly accurate to his personality as well. The Aries star sign. Ooh. The Zodiac's ambitious, go-getting firecracker, Aries is built to compete, push on, pioneer, and win. As the first sign of the Zodiac, Aries naturally inherits all the confidence, self-focused demands, and desire to stand out that the alpha of the pack should have. Aries people are bold, energetic, full of vitality, charismatic, fun, lively, passionate, and driven by their hearts and desires. They have to feel all in on something to succeed, but when they are unstoppable. They thrive on competition, challenge, targets, and rivalry. Mars's ruler pushes them to try and get to the very pinnacle of whatever career path they choose to pursue. They aren't content to follow or to play second fiddle. They want to lead. Careers in sports, entertainment, physical therapy, sales, business, entrepreneurial ventures, tourism, hospitality, and deal-making. The key thing for Aries is to experience plenty of variety, challenges, stimulus, and opportunities for progression. If they can't see a ladder to climb, then they'll swiftly lose interest. Target-focused, full of energy and ideas, a great people person. That one, not so much. Aries always makes an impact on work. Aries turn-ons, high-octane, thrill-seeking, hair-raising escapades that get your heart racing and your blood pumping. I'm a January Capricorn. Interesting. Not an Aries, so I'm not... Listen, though, if you can see some of your own personality traits in a character, that's good. That makes a character relatable. I wouldn't say that Domeran is super competitive, but he's a warrior, so winning is kind of his territory. And it is very often said of Domeran that failure is not in his vocabulary. So there you go. I didn't plan any of that. I didn't look up like Aries personality traits and decide to give them to Domeran. It just kind of happened. It just kind of happened that I made a character and then I was like, his birthday is on this day. What zodiac sign is that? Huh, Aries. Oh, and also very, very Aries. So it's funny. It's funny sometimes how you create something and then it can shock you like that. Let's see. Nyx is still on. How long is she planning to go? Oh, she might be about to wrap up. Where are we gonna drop in today? I think maybe we will head over to Estantia because we haven't raided her in a while. So I think we're gonna head over there. Nice little wild tangent at the end there. Free lore redemption, but there you go. It's very interesting sometimes how you can create a character and then apply like these real world categorizations that we've found, and they can just be guides. Thank you for hanging out, the Mad Lad. You earned that VIP badge, honestly, and I'm so grateful to everyone who is here. Even if all you did was say hey and lurk, you're always welcome to do that. 100%. That's what we're here for. Is the chill vibes and the hanging out and the getting stuff done. I had tons of fun with this. little experiment. It was tough, but I think very rewarding. Tomorrow I will be here, same time, same usual, trying to start at 10 o'clock and probably being late. And we will be doing edits for Aravalia Chronicles. We're going to be doing a lot of Aravalia Chronicles edits on stream in the coming weeks because the goal is to finish the final book in June, and I just started editing the final book yesterday. So we're going to be doing a lot of that on stream, but we'll be doing that tomorrow. And then on Thursday, I believe we're doing some world building. So I've done all the outlining for book 4 of Everyone's Child. I have that planned, but I have some world building that I need to do in order to get that ready to go. So we'll be doing world building on Thursday. Specifically Thursday, 1st of August. I usually stream Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I can't promise that I will be streaming the 1st of August because something could come up. If something comes up, if I'm not feeling well, or if I am, like, if I have people visiting from out of town or something, then I won't be around on those specific days. But theoretically, if nothing comes up, I will potentially be streaming on the 1st of August. It would be one of the days. So there we go. Hopefully that will happen. Until tomorrow, though, take care of yourselves. I'm gonna get the raid going. The closest stream before my 1 year, and then the Tuesday is the closest after the 1 year is the 2nd, but it's a Friday. Yeah, I usually don't stream Fridays, so the Thursday is far more likely. But thank you to everyone who hung out today. I appreciate it. I know it was a little crazy today. I'm a little off kilter because of Ghost being away, but I appreciate everyone who dropped by, everyone who hung out. Everyone who lurked, you're all amazing. Thank you for coming on this weird, wild journey with me. I will be back tomorrow morning, so I hope to see you all then. Please remember to eat, sleep, hydrate, get up and move around from time to time. All the things that I will also be trying to remember to do until my husband gets home. And you're amazing. You're all just amazing. And I'll see you soon.